Hey, so I was reading in the book of Mark the other day, and I was so struck by this story. I just thought I'd share it with you. And as always, I'm always looking at these passages in the Bible, and I see the lessons of the persecuted church. But this is the story of Jairus' daughter. I'm sure you're familiar. The context is Jesus is surrounded by massive crowds. He's just done these mind-bending miracles that say, "Oh my gosh, something different is going on." Everyone's heard about it. Everyone's gathering around him. So massive crowds. Jairus, he's a synagogue leader. His daughter is dying. He's beyond hope. There's only one hope left. He knows, he trusts who this is, and he fights through the crowd, and he gets to Jesus, and he says, "Jesus, my daughter is dying. Come save her." And Jesus says, basically, "Don't worry, let's go. We'll go save her," okay? And they're fighting through the crowd on their way to Jairus' home. And then Jesus stops and he says, "Wait a minute, who touched me?" Now think about this from the disciples' point of view. They're like, and I get this as a boss sometimes, it's kind of like, well, Jesus, look, you're surrounded by people. Everybody touched you. No, somebody touched me. The power went out from me. And that's when he meets the woman who had the issue of blood for 12 years. And so he talks to her, and he basically says, "You're healed. Your faith made you well." And all she said was, I've got to get through the crowd. I will fight through the crowd if I just touch the hem of his robe. That's the faith she had. So then from there, Jesus says, "All right, let's go back on mission." We're on the way to Jairus' house. And then the messengers come from Jairus' village and they say, "Your daughter is dead." So you can imagine the devastation. There's no worse sentence for a human being. So then they stop, and what does Jesus say to Jairus? He says, "Stop, only believe. She is not dead." Now she is dead, but Jesus is going to raise her. So she's not dead, she's merely sleeping. So both these two individuals, the woman with the issue of blood and Jairus, they're very similar stories. They were both waiting in great tension. There was no hope left for both of them. So the woman had spent all her money on doctors over the years. For 12 years, nothing had worked. And there was only one solution, and that was God with us. It was the Messiah that was here, and the same with Jairus. I really feel like I can relate to both of these. I always say God puts me on ice. Whatever he speaks into my life, whenever he gives me the vision and shows me the way to go, I'm always on ice. I have to wait until he says go. And I've seen in my life, and that's what these two were doing. So they only had one hope, but they had to wait, and they had to wait on the Messiah, and the Messiah would answer them in his time. Neither of them were answered in the way they would have wanted. The woman waited 12 years. Jairus' daughter died before he found relief. So no matter what is going on in your life, know this, that he is there and he is ready to rescue you. But he will do it in his timing. But he's always ready to raise your dead and to stop your bleeding. So reach out today and touch just the hem of his robe. God bless you.